All right, welcome back. So I'm gonna share my screen, and let's see, share screen. And Brother Patrick and I were going to dissect this topic together. On this, it's a video. We're going to react to it, and it says why marriage is not a hot commodity. Why more single women are becoming homeowners. This guy, his name is Patrick. Olórúkọ yín ni sir. Patrick Bet David. That's his name. You know. So let's just watch it and then we'll dissect it. We're reacting to this video within the fair use guidelines. YouTube. This is all within the fair use guidelines. Let me make sure I position this properly because it's a large platform. So I want to make sure that we give them the proper credit due. All right, so let's go.
Women are buying more single women are buying homes.
Yes.
Yahoo Finance. A report from Maxwell indicates that single women constitute 22% of mortgage applications in 2023, with 35% of these applications ages 25 to 34, and many earning less than $100,000 annual. The rise of single women in the housing market suggests a shift in demographic, with millennials and Gen Z.
All right, before we continue with that, let me play another 30 seconds before we continue, sir. Let me play another 30 seconds. Let's do it 60 seconds at a time.
Showing interest in home ownership, many women are willing to relocate for more affordable housing options, emphasizing their commitment to building equity. Factors such as increased female participation in the labor force and a growing number of households led by women contribute to this trend. Each woman in long-term relationships are opting for solo home ownership, often because they earn more than their partners. By the way, more single women buying homes. It's not because more single women are buying homes. It's because there are more single women today than before, because marriage is not a hot commodity today. On the same...
All right, let me hear your thoughts on that already, sir, before we continue.
Well, America is a capitalist country. This man is just a propaganda.
You think so?
No.
So you don't believe that there's more single women?
Well, it's left for you. It depends on what you consume. Yeah. If that, that may be more single women than married women, but when it's time for you to marry, you get married, depending on what you choose to be.
Right.
Yes, depending on what you choose to be, the kind of life you want to live.
So let's just do this, right? Because I really want us to have this conversation. Let's assume, I'm going to read it. I have it in front of me right now. I'm going to read it again. And then, because this is according to some studies, I guess, on Yahoo. According to a report, all right? And they have a report linked. I don't know if I should. I don't think we need to do that. According to a report from Maxwell, single women made up 22% of mortgage applications in 2023. Furthermore, the report showed that 35% of single women who applied were between 25 and 34. All right, so women are buying homes. They can buy any type of size of homes, condos, townhouses. Women are buying homes, and 25 to 34. A majority of whom make less than $100,000 a year. And then some Yahoo Finance reporters break down the report and discuss what this means for the broader housing market. And then there's today, guys, we're starting with the story that close to my heart. Okay, that's a transcript from somewhere. So anyway, what they're suggesting, what he just suggested, is that there's less people getting married across the board. We know that people are still getting married. That is just a fact. And then, but they're suggesting that the numbers across the board is showing less and less people getting married. So again, he made this statement here. This is what I want us to discuss, this part right here.
Buying homes. It's not because more single women are buying homes. It's because there are more single women today than before, because
okay, so that part where it says there's more single women today than before, do you believe that, sir?
That's a possibility. And depending on its demography,
Yes.
of America, that could be, it might not be so in other part of the world, you understand, that embraces marriage. that embraces relationship, that embraces familyhood. So it might be true in America.
Right. What about in
People buying
Nigeria?
home, sorry, people buying home at that age. That is true. You know, the way
Right. More
people
and more
plan
people are
their
getting
life now.
educated about that. Yeah.
Yes, the way people plan their life, the kind of life I plan for my children. By the time they're 21, they graduated from high school, from college. By the time they're 23, they have their masters. They work for like 2 years. They don't come out with student loans. 3, 4 years they are married. By the time they are 30, they are thinking of buying their own home.
Yes. It sounds like almost a natural order of things.
Yes, whether single or married, you understand? You don't want to
Yeah.
live in an apartment for 10 years. So that's all right.
For an average person, you don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue it. I feel like there's going to be more to the story that they're saying here. I know that there's more to it. Let me play another 60 seconds.
A story that we have here at the bottom, you hear this other one says, childless future, birth rate plunging as millennials decide against being parents, right? So this isn't just because single women are buying homes. They're not wanting to get married. Those numbers are higher today. They don't want to have kids. It's higher today. Let me read this study to you. A study by the University of Southampton and the Generation of Gender program found that less than a fifth of millennials ages 26 to 35 are certain they want to become parents. The study reveals a correlation with declining birth rates.
Wait.
Are certain they want to found that less than
Less
a fifth
than
of
are
millennials
certain.
ages 26 to 35 are certain they want to become parents. The study reveals a correlation with declining birth rates, as only 19% of younger millennials expressed a definitive desire to have children, while 30% leaned towards probably wanting children. The desire of children among Generation Z, ages 18 to 24, is also declining compared to previous generations. 15% of Gen Z respondents stated that they definitely do not want children, suggesting that the birth rate in UK may continue to decrease. The study also highlights...
All right. Your thoughts about that one, sir? It is more to it. Now they're saying they don't want to have children. They're saying only 19% are sure that they want to have children. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah. You know, I said it has to do with the demography. It can be true in America, you know, because they have everything at their fingertips.
Let's use America. Why is it that younger and younger generations are not? Why do you think they don't want children or they don't want family, period? Because that's oftentimes is anything that has to do with family that they are kicking against. Some of them will say they don't want to get married. Some of them will say I want to get married. I don't want children. I don't want that responsibility, right? Why is this something that maybe is even scriptural? Is this something that we're supposed to expect to happen?
Yeah, so we know that that's the multiplier effect of being single parent. But dad is not there. They don't really, you know, they don't know what family is all about. Sitting down, they don't go to church. By the time the guy is 18 or the girl is 18, she can do whatever she wants. It goes back to what you just said about respect. You know, man wants the respect and, you know, submission. Someone that was brought up by a single parent did not really understand what they mean by respect.
Because they didn't see it.
There's no father figure. There's nobody to talk to her. With the mom. The money is there to go to school. At the age of 18, she bought her own car. She's independent. So what are you talking about respect?
Right. That's one of the reasons why we struggle with that conversation a lot of times. And they are very influential. The younger they are, the more they are influential on the culture.
So when you tell her, it's not as if she's being rude or she doesn't respect me. She doesn't know. What you don't know, you can't do.
That's true. That's true. That is so true. Oof. Anyway, let me play another 60 seconds.
The high cost of childcare and parents typically spending an average of $711 per month on childcare. For lower income household, childcare expenses can account 20 to 30% of their
They're talking
income.
that it's expensive now.
Single women buying homes because they don't want to get married, and more people, more younger generation don't want to have kids. Tom, what do you see here with these numbers?
Well, first of all, if you're a single woman with a home and you're looking for a patriotic, stable husband, this morning I signed an agreement. I'm representing Vinny. You can find him on Minnect, and for $25, you could ask a question and begin an interview process that could end in a fruitful relationship. Again, women with homes, please find Vinny on Minnect. What I think here, I think it's a little bit of a BS headline. I think you called it.
Wait, let me pause. Let me pause
there
this.
are
Hold
more
on,
women
hold
that
on,
are
hold on.
single and not married than
Okay, let me
now. And what has happened now is we've kind of devalued the long-term relationship.
All right, ladies. Some of these men are single. This one is single, so I'm just saying. But anyway, Esa, they're saying that it's all correlate with each other. The fact that single women, if they're not going to have a family, there's nothing they're waiting for. So more and more of them, or at the very minimum, they're not waiting. They're not in waiting that one day to happen. They want to keep living their life, either it happens or not. Do you see what I'm talking about? Is that something that you feel like is going on? Because you already said it. They graduate college, they naturally they don't want to keep dropping all this money. They're trying to build equity, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a terrible advice to advise women to not buy homes if they still want to be married? If
Well,
they still want to be married.
They can have a home. Yeah. Why not? And when they get married, they can, they can, where you're married may not be, you can't maintain two homes. You have to send one and put your resources together. Yes. That's why, we talk about respect and submission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really comes in.
Yeah, it plays a part.
You want to do this, and when we talk about marriage, the wedding itself, that has to be emphasized. You are getting to this. This is what it's your life, it's your future. A lot of things happening. I was telling during what's it called? But I took time. And I was watching it. I watched this Marriage at First Sight.
Yes, on Netflix. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Episode 12.
Okay, what season? I know they have multiple seasons.
That was a disaster.
Of course, they're marrying at first sight. Although I know a couple that have done it successfully. I follow them on Instagram. Yeah.
That was a disaster.
You can imagine. Yeah.
So all these kids, those things that you never even thought of, they are trying it now.
Yeah.
And it's at risk. There's no assurance.
Yeah.
So
let's see. I do think that there, for any of these viral conversations, I think there's levels of truth in them. But as always, we need to make sure we're adding context to the situation. Let me see. D-Love says, bad idea. Financial security is key, married or not. So I should spend all my money on candy instead of building my financial portfolio. I don't agree with this one, though. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are advising this. I think the advice needs proper context. Not just for the women's side, but also for the men. We need to have a conversation with men that are intimidated by a single woman who is a homeowner. We need to start having that conversation. It's simply not realistic to ask a single woman who is 27, who has the opportunity to buy a small condo and start building equity. There's no way to wrap that advice into a good situation, that she should just keep paying all this money away if her financial portfolio or financial blueprint says that buy a condo so you can build some equity. It doesn't make any sense. And it's even It's even worse when you say because of husband. It actually makes it sounds worse. What do you think about that, sir?
I just said it. We say, why not? Why not buy a home? I said it before now. Why not build your equity? Let me give you an example. One of my friends' son, he lives in Texas. So his son came to my state, to my city, to work for Amazon internship. Ola, this guy is a computer programmer. If you see the apartment that Amazon got for this guy, 1,400 per month, I couldn't believe it. That was too much for a guy 300 level in the university. So all these kids, my daughter is living one of these big in one place now, in downtown, where they have one of the best hotels. If you go there, if she wants to buy a house now, say no, don't buy a house. Why not?
Yeah, because so that her husband will not be intimidated. Let's just listen back to that. Let's play that back. Let's play back and see what it sounds like. Toke Makiwao, well, Toke Makiwao is 40, but a 28-year-old woman, right? He said, don't buy a house. Why not? It's going to save me a lot of money. I get to build equity 5 years from now. I will have this nice little asset that can potentially be bringing in money. Well, you don't want the potential husband to be intimidated. Yeah. Báwo la ṣe lè make sense?
The bed of the same bed and fly together. So you want now to be dating somebody lower than her or what?
Exactly, or she's gonna find somebody richer. So in the same breath, they will say the higher you go in social status, right? In terms of economic status, the higher you go, the smaller the pool of men that are available for women that are going higher. So that's one of the excuses they give. They say, well, so they're almost getting ready to tell them, like, if somebody's about to pay you more money, if they're about to give you double six figure, don't take it all, because a man might be intimidated. So I've talked about this here before. I can talk about how a man can be intimidated, and that's precisely insecurity. Insecurity is not a crime. It's just something you feel. If you find yourself in a situation that makes you question your sense of emotional security, right? But so now it's now left me with one angle of the conversation. If more and more women are going to school and getting paid more, somebody's going to be like, no, they're not getting paid more. They're just collecting school loans. Okay, relax. We're talking about your circle now. If you look around you and you're seeing more and more young ladies and they're getting more money and they're getting financially empowered, right? How can you embrace that? Okay, these are the questions they will ask you in a professional setting. If we were talking about anything outside of marriage and relationship, you would have this conversation. It's only in relationship and marriage that you want to be disrespectful to yourself and not have this conversation. How can you have this conversation? How can you foster a healthy relationship without creating the insecurity, right? Or how can you solve this insecurity without creating insecurity on the other side? Without having that solution creating another problem. Because a woman, we've seen those examples in some of the stories we've covered here, a woman who puts herself on hold or puts her situation on hold, and then that relationship ends up falling apart, as it probably will if you are intimidated by the fact that she makes money, she's probably going to resent that for a long time, right? And then she might turn around and she might say, hey, I'm trying to remember the example right now. She might say, I put my life on hold for you. Right? We covered a story here not too long ago. And she resent that. And she might not tell you exactly how she feels for 5, 6, 7 years later on. This is a real life story. Okay? So I don't think it's productive to advise women to tone anything down. There's a bigger part of the conversation we need to have. You know, I don't think it's advisable to ask women to not own a home. I don't think so. I think it might sound good to some, quote unquote, traditionally, we want things to be traditional, but traditional is also a moving target. Depends on what you mean by traditional, right? Yvette, welcome. Yvette says, I recommend it if at that age and can afford it. Buy a townhouse or condo, specifically has less management. If condo gets with security, sorry ladies, if you can afford it, go for it. Do not wait for anyone. So the idea of waiting for marriage is just something that I struggle with. I think if you have to wait for marriage, marriage is probably just not happening, and you shouldn't put life on hold for that. Let me play another 60 seconds time. Maybe they will tell us a little bit more. Or did you have any thoughts on what I just said?
Yeah, Allah, Kevin Samuel, what's his name? Mm-hmm. That guy left a background. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first thing when he's talking to the ladies, the first thing would be, do you have a degree? Mm-hmm. How's your age? What's your age? How much do you make? Yes, you always ask for that. He wants to place you in your class where you belong.
Yeah, but he was trying to get 6-figure women to marry 40,000 per year men.
He was trying to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to do it, but he was insinuating it. Like you said, he probably did not complete the conversation he started.
Yes.
But that's where he was. That's what made him go viral, because he was checking this woman who said she wanted a 6-figure income man because she makes 6-figure, and he was basically scolding the woman. But what makes you think you deserve a 6-figure man? And then he started to go into the parts of the conversation that is not necessarily about monetary, and the idea that men who make 6-figure don't necessarily want women who make 6-figure. They want other things about you. They don't care if you make 6-figure. You can make 6-figure if you want, but there are other things about you that they're interested in. And I think he was in the middle of that conversation, and then he got the fame, and then the fame is another beast of animal to manage, before it's untimely passing.
You're right.
So that is you're right, that is a vacuum there. That is a conversation we should have, because a lot of men are wrong with that, and they now are coming up from a very entitled place. That, well, it doesn't matter if I make 40, 50. If you make 60, I don't care about your money, just marry me. Like, no. Now you're tampering with the conditions for respect and submission. But let me play another 60 seconds, sir. He's talking about the long-term relationship has been devalued. Oh.
See all the expense, and they see.
I have to go back. But Patrick,
devalued the long-term relationship is what we've done.
There's a way you couldn't hear it. You didn't tell me.
People aren't instead of a BS. Fine, I think you called
let's
it
start
there,
from here.
There are more women
Sorry about
that are
that. Thank
single
you,
and not married than now. And what has happened now is we've kind of devalued the long-term relationship is what we've done. And when you devalue the long-term relationship, people aren't getting married. And when they see all the issues and the expense of having kids, some people make a rational, what they think is they don't realize the joy you can have having kids and what you're actually bringing to society. Yes, kids are expensive, but you know what? Generational creation actually makes a better, stronger society. And I think they see all the expense, and they see all of they're in this mindset of like short-term hookup culture. And you have people that don't value long-term relationships and think of kids as just a pure expense. And then you're screaming in their ear that, that, you should do what you want to do, be who you want to be, and do all this.
Do you, just
None
do
of that
you.
speaks to, hey, what about leading and serving and giving yourself to other human beings in a family?
Listen, just me, lady single. Let's have a kid. It's crunch time.
With a house.
With a house.
I
With
say
a
this
house.
all the time.
Anyway, so what this man just said, let me just say it in my own accent so we can all make sure we're on the same page, sir. So he's saying that we're in a culture of short-term relationships, not just romantic, even with work. People don't stay on a job for 40 years anymore. It just doesn't, you're looking for the next best thing. And because technology is moving so fast, there's new projects, new products, new services that are entering the marketplace. And if you stay in one place for too long, you might just find yourself that your business is shutting down, So we're in that culture of everybody like, microwave, McDonald's, drive-through, drive-by. You don't want to wait and cook for 2 hours before you can actually eat. So we have this issue everywhere. And now they are seeing kids as just expense. But and they are making, quote unquote, a rational decision. Some people call that a logical decision. This is why I fight with logical emotions and all this kind of stuff all the time. I said, listen, what you're calling logic is not logic because it does not factor in long-term effects of your today's decision, right? So, and that's what this man has just highlighted. So because of that, people are saying it doesn't matter. Now, what does that have to do with connecting to a home? Again, there is no need to connect this to buying a home. I see how they're connecting it because the reality is that people are waiting longer to get married, or even saying they're not sure if they ever want to do it, including having kids. And that's what's going on. These are the things. There's no right and wrong thing, but these are the ideas we need to assess to make sure that we know what we're doing. Because oftentimes you will hear some of these things and some part of it will sound really good to you and you tag on to it, and that's because it's hitting a nerve somewhere, right? And we all have to be careful, with that. But Patrick, what are your thoughts on this last 60 seconds?
Yeah, the man actually said the right thing. Yeah, they are running for their future nemesis. You know what I mean? That will cut off with them. Instead of investing in family, they are thinking about, it's very expensive to raise a baby, blah, blah, blah. They are not sure of getting married. No. That's not it. It's worth it. And the fact that that's how society grow. But if there's even technology is growing, people are not getting married, they are not having kids. Who are the people that are going to be using the technology? And moreover, it's a worthwhile investment. Having family, and that's what the man was emphasizing on. Instead of deciding not to do it and doing hookups.
Yes, the hookup culture.
Hookup culture, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You are just amassing wealth. You are not building a society. It doesn't make sense. Well, we'll be praying that they will understand better, and that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Let me play another 60 seconds, and then we'll take it from there.
If there's anybody I want commenting on modern day hookup culture, it's Tom Ellsworth,
the Biz Doc.
Nobody understands what it's like to be out in these streets and these clubs and these bars like Tom, and that's what I love about you, Tom. So, PBD, you okay, man? You good? I mean, the truth hurts here, guys. But Tom, great breakdown. But Tom, to be genuine, that's the kind of guy you actually probably want to mirror your life around, because he's actually a grown-up man with kids. Vinny, I pray for that for yourself and for
you too,
for me as well.
Yep.
But this story, it seems heartwarming on the surface. Single women are buying homes. That's great. But let me tell you what happens, ladies. You're going to be 35 years old. You move into your new house. You're going to be all set up. You're going to be going on. And then you're going to set up all the stuff around the house. You got to put stuff together. You're going to need some nails. You're going to need some hammers. You're going to need some screwdrivers. And there's going to be no dude there to help you out. So I don't think that's the type of lifestyle you want. If you want that Chelsea Handler lifestyle, wake up every day, you're 48 years old, you got no kids, you got
Glass of vodka.
17 dildos.
Ah, wala.
Wow.
All right, so he was going in there, he was going in.
No, I understand.
But that's some of the realities, sir, that obviously don't get spelled out in some of these studies.
You're right, man. You said it. You're gonna be by yourself. You might be slapping yourself at that time. What am I doing? What have I done to myself?
Now
We need a companion. Allah, we need a companion.
We do, yes, sir. We do. It's part of our basic human needs. It's part of the six basic needs that I always talk about here. We need connection over time. Connection. 6 basic needs. Here, number 4, connection. It's just part of our reality, and in the short time, again, people can make decisions off of a short-term feeling. That's fine. There's also consequences for all of our decisions. Now, the funny part about this is that I don't know if you noticed that he mentioned that 3 of them are single. It's only Pat David, the owner of the platform, that is married. And so it's kind of interesting that he's saying all of that and he's single.
But just pray now. Let us pray for all of them too.
He's praying for. He said for himself too. So Osarugwe Ojo, hello. He said maybe that's why some people don't want to marry, because they don't want to marry someone who is jealous of. They don't want to marry someone who is jealous of their success. What that is that. What do you think about that, sir?
Evidently, you don't want to marry someone that is jealous of you.
Now we don't want to know.
Marriage is not a competition. Two shall become one.
Yes,
you'll find somebody. But not saying you should marry somebody that is jealous of you. Definitely, you find somebody. You have to marry that person.
Yeah.
The main thing is that you want to get married. Definitely, you get married if you want.
Yeah. It's the reality is that you meet one person at a time and you're dealing with one person at a time. Yes, you can be sleeping with multiple people at the same time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of relationship, you meet one person at a time. If they make you feel like they're jealous of your success, obviously romance cannot thrive in that type of environment. So now, but the way the sentence is structured is that you're meeting jealous people all over the place. If that's the case, at that point you have to look at yourself. What is it about you that's attracting a bunch of jealous, insecure men? What kind of circle are you hanging around, and where are you meeting these people? Because there are 8 billion people in the world, and there are 300 million in America alone. And if you change where you've been hanging out or the kind of people you surround yourself with a couple of times, there's a good chance you might change that reality. That's if it comes down to you're noticing it everywhere. Okay. Sometimes when you've gone through such experience with one person, you might start to feel like you're seeing it everywhere. That's just projection, most likely. You just have to, again, give yourself a chance. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. But you're absolutely correct. No one should be hanging around people that makes them feel like they're jealous of their success. So maybe also the point you're making is that if these young ladies are getting richer and richer, then they will probably want to settle for less and less number of people. Their dating pool will shrink. This is part of the reality too, But that is a reality that's also not good for the other side of the gender. So these young men that are having conversations right now, they're in their 40s and they've never been married, single.
Oh.
And he's also saying, if you listen to him very well, he said he liked hearing the other single Baba more. And that Baba sounds like he's just divorced, which is different from a completely single person that has never been married. Right? A person that's been divorced is different. Those are two different scenarios. You know, a person that has never been married and he thinks we're grown men and he can, like, these are the kind of people you're looking for. Not necessarily. Precisely who they probably should be listening, that all three of them should be listening to, is Pat by David. Not because it's going to say absolute truth, it's because it's going to say some things that you will gain some insights from, and then maybe you can learn one or two things to understand what is going on with your situation. That's if you want to change the situation. If you don't want to change the situation, then there's nothing to do. You guys heard dildo? Hey babe. You guys, did you heard something about dildo? Who heard something about dildo? Let me play it, but I think some people heard. But I bet came out of nowhere and heard dildo. Jesus Christ.
Screwdriver.
I didn't hear dildo. Who heard dildo? Jesus Christ.
And there's going to be no dude there to help you out.
Okay, so he's shame fear mongering women that there's nobody that will help you. Well, that's his projecting. That's his reality right now. Because men, we need help too. We need connection. We need women to be in our world. Most of us, not everyone. We like the connection with a nice looking lady, a young lady that you continue to see as young because you guys are growing together. Everybody likes that. But somehow he hasn't figured that out. Okay? And look at what he's saying.
Single women are buying homes. That's great. But let me tell you what happens, ladies. You're going to be 35 years old. You move into your new house. You're going to be all set up. You're going to be going on. And then you're going to set up all the stuff around the house. You got to put stuff together. You're going to need some nails. You're going to need some hammers. You're going to need some screwdrivers. And there's going to be no dude there to help you out. So I don't think that's the type of lifestyle you want. If you want that Chelsea Handler lifestyle, wake up every day, you're 48 years old, you got no kids, you got 17 dildos, and you're just going to town on yourself
with a glass of
with
vodka,
some Percocets and some vodka. Sign up for the Chelsea Handler mortgage. It's only 7% right now, and it's going to last you the rest of your life of miserableness. So the breakdown.
And they showed Chelsea Handler. Let me finish
families, the breakdown of traditional values is basically what we're seeing seep into America. And for the people out there that's like, what do you mean? It's going to last you the rest of your life of miserableness. So
miserableness.
The breakdown of traditional families, the breakdown of traditional values is basically what we're seeing.
All right, so breakdown of family value, traditional value. Let's keep going.
Seep into America. And for the people out there that's like, what do you mean? Men, you and Vinny, you're in your 40s and you're single. Well, a newsflash, women can't have
ahead of us.
kids after 40 for the most part. Al Pacino just had a kid when he's freaking 82.
Yeah.
The math don't add up. It's a little bit different.
Oh, so you want to have babies at 82?
What do you mean? Men, you and Vinny, you're in your 40s and you're single. Well, a newsflash, women can't have kids after 40 for the most part.
Wait, I thought it was just breaking the news that they also don't want children.
Al Pacino just had a kid when he's freaking 82.
Yeah.
The math don't add up. It's a little bit different. So, slide into Vinny's Minek DM, slide into my Minek DM, gentlemen, if you need some coaching with that. But
Oh my God.
there's no way that this is going to be a happy ending for a lot
There's no way this is going to be a happy ending for what?
of these women that move.
For a lot of these women. But he's suggesting that it might be a happy ending for men. I don't think it's going to be happy ending for anybody.
These guys are funny.
I don't think it's going to be happy ending for anybody. Just because you can impregnate a woman at 82, that doesn't sound like happy ending either. It sounds more like happy ending for the person that didn't want children and they are 82 and they still don't have children. It sounds more like happy ending for that person, if you ask me. Now, for the society at large, it's not a happy ending. What's your take on this guy's 60 seconds of?
Those guys are so funny. Well, they are promoting family value. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's a good way to look at it, sir. See, there's always a good angle to these things. There's always a good angle. They're promoting family value. What is the benefit of family value for our society at large? Maybe we can have that conversation without necessarily shaming women that have made a logical decision not to want children. Maybe because the older they get, they tend to end up with somebody who is quote unquote jealous of their success. Maybe they've looked at it, they've had some experience, and they say, I don't want to be a part of it. So imagine the mouth of this man that just finished speaking for the past 60 seconds. This Oyibo on the screen that just finished speaking. Imagine his mouth if you are married to him at 40. Just I want you to try to imagine it. Family value, 7 purposes of marriage, romance, companionship. 3, family and legacy. Number 4, multiplying and nation building. 5, legal life hack, significance and recognition, personal growth. Also, did you notice a difference in the delivery of the older matured man who seemed like he was just divorced? Do you notice a difference in the way he delivered what he had to say about the decline of the family value as compared to this 40-something-year-old man who has never been married?
Yeah,
There's a difference.
there is.
There's a difference.
The man is saying the truth, and it's like it's appealing to people.
Yes.
This man is just the other guy just feeling venom.
He just wanted to drag everybody. 70 dildos.
Yeah,
Wow.
just dragging people. He believes he can have his children, his own kid at 82. So
Yeah, like that doesn't sound like fun. I don't know why that sounded like fun to. It can only sound like fun to certain type of people. Just imagine.
what
Right.
did Brother Ben said?
But I bet say people because he heard it first. I didn't hear the dildo at first. He said his ears are sharp, and then he woke up out of nowhere. Welcome, Brother Ben.
No.
He said he wanted to know if he heard it right. You heard it right.
Ben, no.
He's not lying, but again, that wasn't the conversation. And if somebody is using 17 dildos happily, maybe they should. I heard it at first. If it's okay, so everybody else heard it. Okay. All right, good. Let me play another 60 seconds because this video right here is a lot.
Funny.
Yeah. Remember what they're talking about is that marriage is not a hot commodity anymore, and why more single women are becoming homeowners. And that's what we're talking about. As you notice, we really haven't told you what to do. We're just trying to get you to see there's short-term benefits to some of these decisions, Indomie generation decisions, and there's also long-term benefits and repercussions or consequences. And guess who's more likely to be here 82 years from now? You, especially if you live in America, the lifespan is much longer. Let's continue.
To their houses, but maybe that we can reverse the roles. So if you move in with this girl and you guys break up, you can sue her and take half her shit.
I love
like
that.
happens to 98% of men when they go through a divorce.
Al Pacino.
So
how old-
try that out.
How old is Al Pacino? He had a baby.
83.
You think when he had orgasms, he goes, "Hooah!" That age, it's like, "Hooah!"
Yeah, but it's. I think that
I'm just getting warmed up.
I'm getting warmed up. I think that, and
This is
is to PBD's
stupid.
credit.
Another blue pill.
Every single one of us needs to transition at one point to being selfish to selfless. And women have to make that move quicker than men. Men can hold out a little bit longer. But I say the same thing to my buddies who are 40, some are almost approaching 50. Guys, you can't be out here still, all up in the club. But there's nothing sadder than when I see a 44-year-old woman still out in the club and I knew her from high school. I'm like, just go home. Get out of here.
So if you like this clipping,
And the question is, what are you doing in the club with them? Women will ask you anyway. They will ask you. Women don't have no shame when it comes to their sign language. They will tell you straight up, like, what are you doing here? If you tell me to go home, what are you doing here? But let me see here. Well, Patrick, what are your thoughts on that? We're gonna round up.
Let's see.
Yeah, that guy is stupid. At 83, is it true? You're not 83, sir, so I shouldn't be asking that question. But maybe is it more likely that people are popping pills, blue pills, Viagra pills at 82 in order to impregnate that woman? That's what that guy said.
Where did you guys?
No, I'm asking for someone. Ben says, my take, no man should move into a woman's house to pay mortgage unless his name is on the property. No, I don't really subscribe to men moving into a woman's house either. I think there's a lot of, at a mental level, consequences of that for both parties. I don't think it's a good thing. I think there are exceptions to that, if it's a rule at all. You know, there are exceptions. There are scenarios, situations where it is absolutely okay. One of them being a man who is very sure of himself and secured in himself. And this just not just in this one situation, but just across the board. It's a guy who is secure in himself, and he just realizes that this is a circumstantial situation. But if the situation tends to be that in everything you're just yielding to her for provision and protection, and this tends to be the situation all the time, even Baba, you know, go feel right by yourself, and that's going to reflect. It's going to show up in your behavior as a man, and that's not what you want. And by the way, she probably can't get wet too. She can even try to help you a little bit, but eventually it's just going to. If it's something that's consistent across the board or all the way down, you tend to see that you have to yield to her. You need to go get your stuff together. If it's just a one-off situation, she just happened to, you guys are in the same socio-economic class, and she just happened to be a better house for you guys, and you have yours, and you decided to bring things together and then rent one out because it's feasibly make more sense to rent that out, and you're secure in yourself. I don't see a problem in making such exceptions, you know. What do you think about that, sir? And then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Go ahead. Okay.
It must be detailed.
Me going, sir. Don't skip. Make
But
sure you're
it
close.
must be detailed. You must have a plan, which of you.
Yes.
Yes. Because if you are moving in, maybe probably you two have a property that you have to dispose of.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be paying 2 mortgages, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There must be an agreement. And that's the essence of marriage. And when you talk about you guys going to marriage, that has to be one of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with this? What are you know?
I like that. Have a plan. I like that.
There must be an highlight of the discussion. What are we gonna do with this? That's why I say I took time to watch the Marriage at First Sight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they put them in an apartment, so some of them are they have to discuss about it. What are we gonna do? You know, are you moving in? Are we gonna sell it? So, you know, if you look at it, marriage is like apart from the emotional and it's like a contract. Yeah.
Yep.
That both of you
Anyway.
are partnership.
Yes, it has to
That
be.
union,
It has to be something that just overall makes sense. But I will
Yes.
just yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming up to
All
hang
right.
out with me today.
God bless you.
All right,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
Talk
Thanks
soon.
for having me. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. But Patrick is welcome anytime. Marriott says, I don't want a man moving into my house. We gotta buy a new one. All right, I like that. If you guys can afford it, why not? It just makes sense. Start everything afresh. Start a new journey together. Yvette says, I have had friends where a woman had a house, met her husband, they bought a house together. She rented our space. Yes, this is happening more and more, which is a message to all the people that are intimidated by the idea of a woman owning a house. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no way anything can be wrong with owning a house just by itself. With respect to a potential marriage in the future, you can absolutely make it happen. All of this just come down to understanding. So even with the traditional values, you have to use sense when you're applying it to real life, right? We all like, you know why we like traditional values? Because we don't like change. We're human beings, right? But that's normal behavior. It's not a good thing, okay? Change is inevitable. If you don't change, you will be forced to change. So your choice is, the best choice is that when there's obvious change happening, apply some change management as opposed to pretending like the change is not there and be calling it traditional values. Baba, the whole point of traditional value is because there will be new traditions that will be created. You lie, pay off the mortgage. But I bet it's Marriott, you lie. Pay off the mortgage and let's have the happiest marriage ever. Of course, after I'm moving with you. Voila. This kind of sense they fear me. Voila. No moving in, must purchase something together. All right. Why not? If you guys can afford it, I actually like that. But if you can't afford it, don't put life on hold for that ideology. You don't have to do that. Okay. All you really need is to have understanding and actively do everything in your power as an individual to be on the same page with your partner. Okay. Some people don't want to pay spousal support. No, they don't. It's spousal support is hurtful. It's painful, even though it's rightfully so that it exists. Okay, why buy another property when you have one paid off already? See, stop, Joe. It's mental, but it's mental. Remember, new beginnings. The same reason why we want to do New Year resolution, knowing fully well that you forget about New Year resolution by the 25th of January. Am I speaking to someone? But it still feels good to do New Year resolution. Why not? Do it now, sure. My man and I are getting a new place. Can't turn my lawyer brain off for love. No Ijebu for life. If you're a woman of a certain age, it's perfectly fine to be thinking more intentional.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, baby, how are you? You okay? Okay. It's more, you definitely want to be operating from a more intentional. The older you get, obviously, just makes sense. And you should have some room for that. All right, you guys are now dragging each other. Thank you so much. I finished just 4 minutes late today. I'm doing my best. All right. But this is a nice cruise day. Okay. Tomorrow we might be here at 5 p.m. So make sure you are showing up at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to do a quick shout out to all the supporters and the sponsors and anybody that is supporting this platform. Even if all you did is hit that like button for me, just to make sure that we're pinging everybody back to the platform. Okay, that's how we ping people back to the platform. Just hit that like button for me on your way out. All right, and don't forget to download the book. The book are free. They're available for free at manofprestige.com. Also, you will see access to book a one-time complimentary session over there. Okay, thank you so much, Yvette. And if you have any questions like the ones we addressed today, our sister who wanted to know if 2 years, it's been a minute, this guy is not making a move, all of that. So if you want to send in questions like that, you can send them into ask@manofprestige.com, and for any inquiries and stuff like that. All right. Thank you so much, Brother Ben. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.